Hey, welcome back. I'm Ibnul J. Farabi, and this is Flashpoints, the wars that shaped us. You know, we often talk about history in broad strokes, in clear-cut sides. The Allies versus the Axis, good versus evil. And for the most part, that framing holds. But history, real human history, is messier. It's full of moments that defy the simple story, moments that shine a light on our shared, complicated humanity even in the darkest of times. And today, I want to tell you about one of the strangest, most unlikely moments of the entire Second World War. A battle that, if it were in a movie, you'd dismiss as pure fiction. Because on one day in May 1945, American soldiers and German Wehrmacht troops fought side by side. Their common enemy? The fanatical SS. Their shared objective? To defend a castle full of French prisoners. This is the battle for Castle Itter. To set the scene, it's May 4th, 1945. Hitler is dead, Berlin has fallen. The war in Europe is, for all intents and purposes, over. In the Austrian Alps, near the town of Wurgl, sits Castle Itter, a medieval fortress turned into a VIP prison by the SS. Its inmates aren't soldiers. They're former French prime ministers, a famous tennis star, the sister of General de Gaulle, and other political and cultural figures. The German guards, knowing the end is near, have mostly fled. The prisoners are essentially free, but they are trapped. Because outside the castle walls, roaming the woods, are remnants of the 17th SS Panzer Grenadier Division, die-hard fanatics intent on executing every last prisoner before the Allies arrive. The prisoners are caught between a vanished regime and its most vicious enforcers. Enter our first unlikely hero, Captain Sebastian Wimmer, the former SS commandant of the castle who had actually treated the prisoners decently. He's gone to try and find American troops. And he does. A small reconnaissance team from the 23rd Tank Battalion of the U.S. 12th Armored Division, led by Lieutenant John Jack Lee, Jr. Here's the plea. Lee, a bold and charismatic officer, doesn't hesitate. He takes a handful of men, a single Sherman tank, and a few jeeps, and they race toward the castle, dodging SS patrols along the way. They arrive on the morning of May 4th, just as the first SS probes begin. Lee knows his tiny force, maybe 14 American soldiers and the freed prisoners, can't hold the castle against a determined assault. They need more men. They need a miracle. And the miracle comes in the form of a white flag. From the woods, a different group of German soldiers emerges. Not SS, but Wehrmacht, the regular army. They are led by Major Joseph Sepp Gangl, a decorated officer who has been secretly working with the Austrian resistance. Gangl, like many in the Wehrmacht at this point, is sick of the war, sick of the Nazis, and knows that further resistance is both futile and destructive for Germany. He and his men, about 10 of them, have decided to surrender. But when they learn of the situation at Castle Itter, their mission changes. Gangl offers his and his men's services to Lieutenant Lee. Think about that moment. Just days before, these men were trying to kill each other. Now, they are shaking hands in a courtyard, hastily planning a joint defense. Their alliance isn't born of ideology, but of a simple, immediate human imperative: protect the innocent. The battle kicks off in earnest on the morning of May 5th. Over 100 SS troops, with armored vehicles and heavy weapons, surround the castle and begin their attack. And inside, you have this incredible defending force: Lieutenant Lee's Americans, Major Gangl's Wehrmacht soldiers, and the French prisoners, including former Prime Minister Edouard Daladier, who famously helped negotiate the Munich Agreement, and the tennis champion Jean Barotra, who would later act as a messenger, sprinting under fire to try and find help. They are passing out weapons, manning the walls together. The Sherman tank, nicknamed Besotten Jenny, is positioned at the main gate, its gun a crucial deterrent. But the fighting is fierce. The SS are relentless. At one point, they breach the outer courtyard. The situation is desperate. And here's the moment that always gets me. During the fighting, Major Sepp Gangl, the German officer, was on the castle walls, scanning for targets with his binoculars. He saw a French prisoner, a woman, caught in the open, about to be cut down by sniper fire. He rushed out to pull her to safety, and in doing so, he was killed. A single sniper's bullet. A Wehrmacht major, dying to save a French prisoner, under an American command, fighting the SS. In that one act, the entire twisted complexity of the war, and the clarity of basic human decency collided. Gangel's death wasn't just a casualty. It was a testament to what that day was truly about. The siege was finally broken by the arrival of the American Relief Force, a column from the 142nd Infantry Regiment. They scattered the SS, and the castle was secured. The prisoners were liberated, unharmed. The war in Europe officially ended just 3 days later. The battle for Castle Itter was over, a bizarre footnote written in the very last paragraph of the European War's final chapter. So why does this story, this flashpoint, matter? It's easy to see it as just a curious anomaly, a strange tale from the fog of war. But I think it's more than that. I'm an engineer by training, and in our work, we often look for the exception that tests the rule. Castle Itter is that exception. It tests the rule that war is always a clear binary. It shows us that even within the monolithic labels of German soldier or American GI, there were individuals making profound human choices. Gangel and his men chose honor over obedience. Lee chose a risky moral duty over safe protocol. These men, on that day, recognized a common enemy that was bigger than nationality. It was fanaticism, it was cruelty, it was the senseless destruction of lives even in defeat. It reminds me of something my grandfather in Bangladesh would say when talking about our own history of conflict. He'd say, "The river divides the land, but it does not divide the sky." The ideologies, the borders, the armies, those are the rivers. But our shared humanity, our capacity to see someone in need and act, that's the sky. For one day at a castle in Austria, a handful of men looked up and saw the same sky. Thanks for joining me for this story. I'm Ibnul J. Farabi. If you enjoyed this episode of Flashpoints, please share it with someone who loves history's hidden stories. And for more deep dive documentaries from the Light Knot Studios team, visit us at lightknotstudios.com. Until next time, take care.